We're so back. We're so back. Non-sleepy nose here, so yeah, you get to hear full audio. Anyways, Wheel 398 archetypes. We did a couple last episode. Just check it out if you feel like it. I don't really care. We are playing drawing of your archetype. Red means bad. I don't want to land on red. I really don't. But we got to one day. So yeah. Blue means I don't know. Maybe it's a deck I've never played before, don't know much about, don't have much experience on. Green is, oh yeah, I want to play this deck. I'm pretty happy about it. We'll talk about the other colors when they come. But anyways, let's see what we land on. Dude, I'm tired of plant decks. Dude, I am so tired of plant decks. I'm so tired. I don't want to play another plant deck after that Rose Princess video. I'm so tired of plant decks, man. Please spare me. Like, just time to watch a Sunseed Jess video or something. I don't know. Wish me luck. Well, hello. I'm back, and yes, I said Rikka, right? And I'm be honest, after I finished recording the wheel part of the video where I spun the wheel, I was happy. And then I took a shower and realized, oh wait, this is not good because I've never seen a pure Rikka deck. And I know the plant engine, and unfortunately the plant engine is what I like to call vegetable soup. And vegetable soup is where you don't really have a cohesive, like, archetypal deck, but instead you're splashing everything known to man into one strategy and then calling it a fine afternoon. So that did make me sad. I had an initial build that I really wanted to build that was really cool because all of the Rikkas are water and Will Charm You Perulia is a water. I was going to use both of those as synergies to make like a pure water build, but that just didn't work because the Rikka cards alone cannot work, I guess. It's so odd. The Rikka cards alone, there's a lot of Rikka cards, right? But unfortunately, the Rikka cards by themselves just doesn't do enough. So that makes me kind of sad. So I had a couple games being real stubborn with the water only deck and it not working, and then I got upset. But after that, I decided to go back to the workshop and I committed a crime. I did not make a 60 card plant pile because that's not Rikka in my opinion. This also doesn't feel like a Rikka deck, but at least I'm running more Rikkas now. We're running even the bad Rikkas. But first off, hello Nost, what is Rikka? What am I looking at? Well, good asking. Rikka is an archetype of water plant monsters that their gimmick is that they tribute themselves and tribute plant monsters for neat effects. Now that's pretty cool and all until you realize there's an issue with, I mean, you know what, let me stop, I'm being too negative. Let's just talk about what are the Rikka monsters, what's so cool about them, what's the deal with Rikka? So, Rikka's an archetype of water plant monsters, that should be the easiest thing I can say. Everything else is kind of like, Your goal is to build Xyz monsters and tribute your opponent's monsters for neat effects because they have cards that do that. It's really unique, right? It makes me think of Lair of Darkness until I found out that this is kind of better but kind of worse. And then as I was playing, I don't want to yap too much, but as I was playing I realized that I was getting upset at the combos because I realized that, wait, I don't have to tribute my own monsters. It's like when you're playing a going second deck and then you're going first. I'm over here like, oh wait, I forgot, this wouldn't be as bad because I'd be attributing my opponent's monsters instead of my own. Whatever, but basically, here's the cards. First off, let's start with the card people probably know a lot. We have Mudan. Mudan the Rikka Fairy is a level 6, 1,2400. Its effect is to tribute a plant monster to special summon this card from your hand. Pretty good, hard once per turn though. And then if it's normal summoned or special summoned by the effect of plant monster, Lone Fire Blossom, then you're able to add a Rikka spell trap from your deck to your hand. That's completely fine by me. Here's your searcher. It's a level 6, don't worry about it. That's a pretty cool. Now here's its counterpart. We have Erica the Rikka Fairy. This card's mid. This is the mid half of the deck. Now, it seems like there's a bunch of counterpart type cards, or maybe there isn't. I don't really know how this thing works. Basically, Erica the Rikka Fairy is a 24 1000. Wow. Whereas this one's a 1024. This one's a 24 1000. Now, This card is an effect that when an attack is declared involving another plant monster, you contribute this card from your hand or face of field. That monster you control gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of this turn. That's honestly not that bad. Battle Fates related's kinda mid, but don't worry. And then also, if a plant monster you control is tributed while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position but banish it when it leaves the field. That's pretty cool. It's extra, it's your ability to come back to the field from the graveyard, which you don't get much of. Banishes itself when it leaves the field, which means that this card really wants you to, you know, overlay it and make an Xyz monster. But honestly, I don't complain about this. I'm actually not complaining. Next up, we have Snowdrop the Rikka Fairy. Here's the fun, good one. It's a level 8, 1226. You contribute a plant monster, special summon both this card and one plant monster from your hand, but then you're locked into plants for the rest of the turn. Now that's very important. I'll talk about later. And then you can target one plant monster you control. All plant monsters you currently control become that monster's level until the end of this turn. That's pretty cool because there's a rank 4, a rank 6, and a rank 8. And this card gives you the ability to turn your Mudon into either a rank 4 or a rank 8 because you don't want to mess with the 6. Now next up we have the counterpart. We have Boar, which is a 26 1200. Now, this card's pretty interesting, I do like it. When your opponent activates a monster effect that targets a monster you control, not a plant monster, not anything, just targets a monster. While you control a Rikka monster, right, so that's the stipulation, then you can quick effect tribute this card from your hand or face-up field to negate that effect. So this card's a negate, this card is a targeting negate by itself, which is pretty cool. And then also, if this card's in your graveyard, you contribute one plant monster to special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it brings itself from the graveyard, honestly kind of like the other Erica, right? But this one can just tribute a plant monster to bring itself back, and it helps you make a rank 8 if you want. More recursion, I honestly can't complain at all. I do like this card, though I do sign them out often. Next up, we have, let's talk about the good half. We have Primula the Rikka Fairy, which is a level 4. We have an 800, 1800. Now this card is an interesting effect. You really need cards like these. If a monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. That's pretty cool. Free special summon, you kind of need it. When you're tributing your own monsters, you kind of need this, right? Then, let's see. You can target up to 2 plant monsters you control and increase their levels by 2 until the end of this turn. That's pretty cool. If you want to increase your levels of your level 6s into an 8, you want to increase your level 4s into a level 6, that is completely fine. Also, it brings itself out from the hand for free. If you have your Mudon in hand and your Mudon tributes a monster while Primula's in your hand, then this card's another free special summon. You really need special summons when you're tributing your own monsters. You're like, how am I getting advantage in this deck? Because you think about it, you're like, I tribute a monster, so the monster leaves my field and I have one monster on board. So how am I going to make Xyz? How am I going to get into it? And I can talk about that a little soon. Okay, we have the bad card, but honestly not half bad. We have Cyclamen, the Rikka Fairy, in 1800, 800. Now, you can tribute this card from your hand or face-up field to target up to 2 plant monsters and reduce their level by 2 until the end of this turn. That's not very useful, but this is why it is useful. Because during the end phase, not your opponent's, but just during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was tributed and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So this deck really, and I mean really, wants you to tribute monsters, and then they really want you to overlay the monsters that come back, because if not, they're just getting banished, right? Now, let me talk about my cool build that I had in mind, right? I was going to do like a full armored Xyz line, because I can full armored Xyz and do some cool Xyz shenanigans, but that didn't work out. I'm sorry, I keep saying like, my other build was cool. They want me to make cringe build, you know? Okay, next up, we have a really good level 4 in all honesty. We have Rikka Princess. It's a 0/0, wait what? But guess what? During your main phase, you can just special summon this card from your hand. But while it's face up on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except plant monsters. Now, that alone is really good. You need monsters on the field, you need a level 4, this is a really good card, but it gets even better. Because when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Rikka monster, you can shuffle this card from your hand or graveyard into the deck, tribute a plant monster, and negate the effect. This card is a monster negate. And this isn't even like hand trap monster negate. This is just, after you like maybe tribute it off for a Mudon, it still is useful. Because in the graveyard, it's still a hand trap. You can just shuffle it into the deck, tribute a plant, negate a monster effect. That is insane. Dude, I need monster negate so bad. I know Boar over here is a targeted negate. This one right here is a battle phase. No, this guy right here, the actual monster negate is so necessary. It's so fun. I love it. Next up, we have Rikka Petal, a level 1. Wait, what? The only level 1 of its kind, but don't worry. During your main phase, you can take a Rikka monster from your deck, except itself, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except plant monsters. That... Between that one and the level 8, you're kind of locked, but don't worry. Then also, during your opponent's end phase, while this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters or all monsters you control are plants, you can special summon this card. So it brings itself back Samsara Lotus style. So this card can add any of your Rikka monsters from your deck to your hand, which is really nice for what you want to need, or send them to the graveyard. There is a ton of use applications for this card. This card is beautiful. I love it. Now, next up, we have... let's get into the XZs real quick, and why this is important. We're going to start off with, I think is the coolest XZs here, which is Rikka Queen Strenna. It only requires 2 level 4s, pretty generic. You can detach a material from this card, then target a plant or Rikka card in your graveyard and add to your hand. What? What do you mean plant or Rikka? So any plant monster that is in my graveyard I can add to my hand, and or any Rikka card. This includes spells, traps, monsters, anything I feel like, or any plant monster. That is so insane that if that was just it, then this card would still be busted. But guess what? If this card with XZ's material is tributed, you can special summon one rank 5 or higher plant XZ's monster from your deck. Wait, what? Oh, from your extra deck or graveyard. Then you can attach this card to it as material. I didn't even know it said graveyard. I never used the graveyard part. But that is really insane, right? If this card is tributed, imagine... I'm going to give you a scenario now. Imagine your Rikka Petal, right, sends Mudon to the graveyard. Or something like that. You already have someone filled. Then you XZs into Strenna. Your Strenna can add back your Mudon that you didn't use. Then you can trigger your Mudon effect, tributing the Strenna. And then you get a Mudon on field, then your Strenna can summon a level 5, a rank 5 or higher XYZ monster, and then attach a material to it. That's so busted. You have that. I mean, look, I was inspired when I first started playing Rikka, and then you know I'm really hyping it up, and I really am, because it is hype. Next up, we have Kanzashi, the Rikka Queen. This card you don't really see as often, so if it is a rank 5 or higher plant XYZ. So Strenna can summon this, but if a monster is tributed except during the damage step, you can detach a material from this card, then target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it, but negates effects, womp womp. Then it becomes a plant monster, womp womp. And then if a plant monster you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can tribute a plant monster from your hand or field instead. It's destruction protection, which ain't bad in all honesty. And then it can interrupt your opponent's graveyard if a plant monster is tributed. If you set up the combo, if you set up like the interaction correctly, you can rob your opponent of a valuable piece, and then proceed to negate its effects. And then you can also tribute it if one of your cards were to be destroyed. It's not bad. I don't mind. Like, yeah. Next up, we have the actual boss monster kinda. Teardrop the Rikka Queen, a 28/28. 2 level 8s required. It's a rank 8, which means Strenna can summon this. Now, here's its effects. You can detach material from this card, then target one monster from the field, tributed. So, it's tributing a monster. I'll be honest, that bypasses a lot of protections, right? My only thing is that if your monster can't be targeted, then you're kind of like, oh, that sucks. But to be honest, that's kind of good. That's just really good, actually. Just quick effect. Oh, guess what? This is a quick effect if this card has a plant monster as material. So this card is a quick effect tribute an opponent's monster. So, well, in this archetype, in this strategy. Then also, you have this effect. Each time a monster is tributed, this card gains 200 attack until the end of this turn. So this isn't a once per turn, but at the end of this turn it does reset itself. But technically, Rikka's being the archetype of tributing, you can go for a beefy OTK. you can get a lot of damage. You can get a lot of doulosh, a whole lot of life point damage, right? Because it keeps gaining 200 attack every time you tribute. If you use this effect, it already tributes, becomes a 3000. You use Mudon's effect, tributes, becomes 32. You even use Cyclamen's effect, tribute, becomes 34. Primula, 36. Rikka Princess, 38. This card can get beefy. Now, we're on to the spell and traps. We already deduced that the monsters are pretty good. The Xyz monsters are busted. Now, let's see why the spell and traps are what they are. We're going to start off with the Searcher. Rikka Glamour. Normal spell card. When you activate this card, you can also tribute a plant monster. Now, I'm going to explain the option here. So you can activate the effect, right, without tributing a plant monster, and you can only add a Rikka monster from your deck to your hand. Now, that's pretty cool. It already adds a Rikka from deck to hand. I like it. Now, if you do tribute a plant monster, you get to add a Rikka monster from your deck to your hand, then add a plant monster with the same original level as the Rikka monster you added. This doesn't lock you into plants, by the way. Isn't that insane? Isn't this card busted? This card adds 2. I mean, you tribute a monster, but it adds 2. And the amount of scenarios and options you can do, oh, I can't wait for me to explain why I love this card. Like, okay, for general sense, you can tribute a plant monster. Let's say you want to add 4s, right? You add Primula plus Princess, right? And you tribute one of your petals that you already burnt, right? So, Glamour tributes, it adds Primula, then adds a plant monster with the same level, which means a level 4 plant, and then we can add Princess. And since a monster was tributed, this card in the hand can be summoned, so it summons itself, and then if you haven't used Rikka Princess effect, you can summon Rikka Princess, you're locked into plants, you can go into Strenna to add back whatever card you need from your graveyard, tribute it, go into Teardrop. That's pretty much it. This card is a 1 card, 2 card, 5 card starter. There are no 1 card combos in this deck. I refuse to elaborate. Also, if you want, tribute a card, add Snowdrop Rikka Fairy plus an 8. Which is busted, right? That's a free rank 8 if you want. And because remember, Snowdrop summons any other plant as well. You can add Mudon plus Erica if you want. It adds twins, I love it. Now, here's another card. We have Rikka Con, the field spell. The field spell that searches. Now, this is a really cool one, because if you control a Rikka monster, you can set 1 Rikka spell trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. We are dodging Droll, my boys. We are dodging Droll. And also, you can't spell some monster for the rest of this turn except plants. That's kind of a womp, but I understand why. And then also, once per turn, here's the busted effect. Once per turn, if you would tribute a plant monster you control to activate a Rikka card effect, you can tribute any 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Let me explain what that means. You have the ability, if you have Mudon and you want to tribute a monster spell summon itself, right? And your opponent has a monster on field, Resolution Rikka Con can make it so your Mudon tributes your opponent's monster to summon itself instead. Which is busted. That's insane. Tributing monsters that you do not control is obviously insane, and I decided, well, I'm not going to talk about it just yet. Anyways, busted field spell, it also sets any one of your Rikka spell traps. It sets your traps, it sets your spells to continue. I love it. Now here's the last like card that in Rikka that you may play before I get into the niche stuff. We have Rikka Sheet that you would set off of Rikka Con. Now, this is a normal trap card. You can target 1 face-up monster opponent controls. Also, here's the 2 effect thing, right? So here's the effect that if you don't tribute a plant monster, right? You target 1 face-up monster opponent controls. Players cannot activate that face-up monster's own effects on the field this turn. It's like Rexstrom, right? So, baseline, its effect is to target a face-up monster opponent controls and make it so no one can activate its effects. That's not bad, right? Now, its other good effect is if you do tribute a plant monster, then if you tribute a plant monster, when you activate this card, take control of that monster until the end phase, and if you do, it becomes a plant. So, that's not bad, right? Like, If you tribute a plant monster, you can steal your opponent's monster. Now, let's remember field spell. Field spell says a Rikka card, not a monster. So imagine your opponent has 2 pesky monsters on the field, right? And what you want to do is get rid of 2 with 1 bird. You can activate Rikka Sheet. On resolution, con can have the effect tribute your opponent's monster, right? And then also steal your opponent's other monster. So this card's a 2-for-1. So that's kind of busted. We love that. It's a 2-for-1. Unfortunately, it says they can't activate the effect. It's kind of iffy on that one, but I'm cool with it. It's not really an imperm, but it's good. Next up, we have the last. Well, no, we have a couple more bad cards. We have Rikka Tranquility. This card has 2 effects as well. So either you can special summon a Rikka monster from your graveyard in defense position, right? That's the baseline effect. But if you tribute a plant monster, you can special summon a plant monster from your graveyard in defense position as well. So baseline, it summons a Rikka in defense. But then if you tribute a plant, you get to summon a plant from your graveyard in defense position as well. So that's cool. You may see it, you may not, it all depends. Now here's the last card that I don't really use much because I don't think is that good. Unfortunately, it's a win more card. Continuous spell, Rikka Flurries. If a Rikka monster you control is tributed, except in damage step, you can make your opponent tribute 1 monster they control their choice. Okay, this card is bust. This card just reads like, ruin your opponent's day. Like, this is so win more. If you tribute your opponent's monster, your opponent must tribute a monster. If you tribute a Rikka, your opponent must also tribute a monster. That sounds busted, right? And then also, once per turn during your opponent's end phase, if you control a face-up non-plant monster, destroy this card. I don't like that effect. It doesn't really matter to me, but I still don't like it. I still don't appreciate it. So that's all the Rikka cards. I wish I could explain so much more, but you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video where I explain like my strategy and everything. So let me see if I can find you some games. This time I recorded, well, I basically have a bunch of replays because I was just playing this like during the night, during the day. I got kind of late. I decided I wasn't going to like in real time play because you may see me like frustrated or whiff games, and I'm not trying to do that. So I have a couple replays to show off this deck, and hope you stay with me here. I forgot the audio. Dude, I completely forgot to put audio for the beginning. Aw. Well, whatever. Anyways, to start it off, we open our good old combo. We open Rikka Petal, Rikka Princess, and 2 Fuvaros. We also open Human Winds. Unfortunately, you don't really want to open that card. You don't want to open it. You want to like place it from the deck. So we open a brick, 2 Fuvaros. Let's see what's going on here. We start off with Rikka Petal here. Rikka Petal, we're adding ourselves Mood on. You know, I'm still getting used to the combo. We then go Rikka Princess, summoning itself. And then we link it off. Let's see what we get here. Okay, now, I'll be honest. Oh. Sorry. Sylvan Dancephone, or Dancepone. I say Dancepone, but I think it's Dancephone. Now, I'll be honest, I don't like this card. For multiple reasons, right? I'm getting used to the combos because there's a lot of stuff you could do depending on your hand. Like, depending on your hand, you can do a lot of different combos here. Now, I don't like this card because this relies on gambling on what card's on the top of your deck, and I don't want to do that, right? I wanted to make it as consistent as possible without needing this card, and technically, you can do that. Now, unfortunately, this combo that I did relies on this card, right? I made it so I have to rely on this card. I could have avoided that, right? I know combos that I can do where I summon this monster, and if this card does get negated, I can still continue to play. Unfortunately, this is not one of the combos, but don't worry. I think we're still cooking here. We got a Mood on in hand. Let's see what happens. We go Dancephone. We get to excavate 3, summon any plant monsters. Oh, we found a Petal. Perfect. We got a Petal, sends the rest of the graveyard. We go Mood on to tribute the Petal. Then we go Mood on to search a spell trap. We search Con. Now, what is important is that there's a part of this combo that we're not going to do due to the fact that now, you got to keep in mind there's 2 parts to this combo depending on what combo you do, right? One part adds a different engine and one part doesn't. Now, if you have to use Petal immediately, then you lock yourself out of the other part of the combo because remember, there's 3 cards that lock you into plants for the rest of the turn that you don't want to use before you do the other stuff, right? Those 3 cards are the field spell Rikka Con. If you use Rikka Con's effect, you're locked into plants for the rest of the turn, and that's kind of bad. Rikka Petal locks you into plants for the rest of the turn as well, and then Snowdrop which is the level 8, I think. The level 8 locks you into plants for the rest of the turn. So there's 2 different combos. If you have to use either 3 of those cards, you have to swap to the other combo. So combo lines, am I right? Anyways, let me stop talking. We set ourselves a Glamour, and then we tribute the mood on. We get to add 2 now. So we added ourselves Primula plus Cyclamen. Primula gets to summon itself because a monster was distributed. We link those 2 bad boys off for Aroma Lilith Rosemary. Now, this card, when special summon, can add an Aroma card from your deck to your hand. We have a small package going on, don't worry about it. We add ourselves an Aroma Blend. Aroma Blend gets to discard a card to set one of our Humid, Dried, or whatever wind spell traps. We go Humid Winds, pay 1,000. We chain Dried Winds so that they can't ash us. Then we gain our 500, we add ourselves an Aroma card, we add ourselves Laurel. We go Rosemary effect, special summon the Laurel when we gain life points. We link both of those bad boys off into a Jasmine. Now, since Aromage Laurel got sent to the graveyard, I get to gain 500. Aroma Seraphie Jasmine gets to add a card from deck to hand, a plant monster from deck to hand. We go Angelica. Angelica can target an Aroma monster, gain that many life points. We get to use Angelica summon itself when we control an Aroma monster and we have more life points. We go Blend. Blend effect gets to banish plant monster from graveyard if we control more life points to special summon a plant fusion monster. We summon ourselves Magnolia. We go Jasmine. Jasmine can tribute the Angelica to summon Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom can tribute itself to summon ourselves Evil Seed. Now, this is the part I was talking about, right? So we can go Evil Seed, adding 2 Ragnarok is banishing 1. We banish the Fuvaros, actually. We go Wicked Butterfly. Wicked Butterfly to summon the Cyclamen. We then go Ragnarok Bloom. Ragnarok Bloom, add a card, discard a card. We discarded the Wicked Butterfly. We link these 2 monsters off into our good old Skeletal Soldier here. Now, we got Skeletal Soldier. Skeletal Soldier targets a Ragnarok and summons in defense position. We summon it. We link all 3 of these off. Now, what are we doing? Cosmic Tree Irma-Still. Pass. Now, this is not really full combo, obviously. Where's the Rikkas, brother? You know, like, yeah, obviously where's the Rikkas, but that's what happens when you fumble through your combo. The Dancephony only got 1, and I was really getting used to how to combo. There's so much you can do in this deck, right? You can do a lot of things in this deck, which is why it's so confusing at times, right? So I ended on stuff that still works. Yeah, I'm spinning my wheels. Yeah, Fuvaros would have killed me. Yeah, I'm sitting at 10,000. Yes, we have a live Ghostwood on field plus an Aroma with Magnolia. While our life points are higher than our opponents, our monsters cannot be destroyed by our opponent's card effects. Pretty good. Now, we gotta follow up with the Ragnarok Bloom to be able to summon back the our Ragnarok Evil Seed. We got ourselves Humid Winds. I don't know, gain life points if you want. We got the Irma still for the OTK. Our cards can't be destroyed by card effects. We're looking pretty good. Let's see what happens. We pass it back to our opponent. Draw phase. Standby. They have a pretty big deck going on here. They go Dimensional Fissure. Yes, I'm playing against Runic Stun. They go Inspector Border. They go Runic Droplet. Runic Droplet to summon the Hugin Wings. Then they go Hugin Effect. Hugin Effect pitching the freezing curses added Runic Fountain. They got Runic Fountain. They chain Runic Destruction. Runic Destruction destroy the Con, banish a couple cards. Then they get to go Runic Fountain. We have no interruption. They get to shuffle those 3 back and then draw 3 cards. Really sucks in all honesty. Now, they go Pod of Desiree. Pod of Desiree here. Draw 2 cards in phase. Inspector Border. We got Rikka Petal. We still survived because we went first. Rikka Petal for the follow-up. Now, this is where my issue lies. I've only learned how to make a combo. I've never learned what follow-up is or like how to OTK. I'll be honest, this deck requires a lot of thinking and remembering and building on. So me only knowing how to build the combo is kind of bad because you have so much stuff that you could be doing, and I'm not very sure on like what I need to do now. I have a Petal, which is automatically like full combo. I have Ragnarok Bloom to do Ragnarok combo again. I have a Mudon. I could be doing so much stuff, so we're gonna see me fumble through this right now. Standby. Oh no, they go Runic Tip to search a card. They search Flashing Fire to pop one of our cards. They banish a Glamour off at the top of our deck. They're gonna go Runic Fountain. They kind of whiffed because while our life points are higher than our opponents, our monsters can't be destroyed by card effects, so the Flashing Fire was wasted there. If I were them, I would have added Freezing Curses if they didn't have a Flashing Fire already. I guess they didn't. The fissure already hurts, so we gotta play under Dimension Fissure, which I never done before. They have a Runic Fountain, I don't know what to do. We go Roma Lilith, they go Runic Smiting Storm. Aroma Magnolia can banish cards. They banished a couple of our cards. We banished their Runic Fountain. Because we're playing against OCG, because we're playing against OCG, they only have one fountain. We then go Skeletal Soldier to actually target the Petal and then shuffle it back into the deck to summon itself. Now, technically, I didn't even use Petal's effect, which was probably a whiff on my department. I don't even know what I was thinking in this situation here. And I think I'm locked now. We go Ragnarika Bloom, bring back the Samurai Beetle. We link those two off into Ragnarika Selene Snapper. You see, what I was going to do was Ragnarika Beetle, right? Summon itself back, go into Selene Snapper. Samurai Beetle gets to target a level 4 or lower plane in my graveyard and summon it. But I forgot Dimensional Fissure, so this card was not sent to the graveyard after being link summoned. And then also can't go Selene Snapper because Inspector Boar's on the field and it has a weird effect. I can't remember, but so we were like, okay, let's just beat into the we just go Magnolia, beat into the border. Let's beat into the Hugin. Hugin goes back. Direct attack, Irma still pay 3,000, and we win. So that's not bad. You know, I'm cool with that. Alrighty, next up, here's the opening hand. We got ourselves a Glamour, an Ash Blossom, a Thrust, a Harpy's Feather Duster, and we open Human Wins again, I swear. So you're wondering, what does this hand do? And I'm gonna be honest, this hand sucks. I think this hand sucks if you want to go first. Let's see what happens here. We're going first. We start ourselves off with Glamour. You never want to use just the normal effect to add a Rikka because a Rikka ain't enough, right? A Rikka's not enough. What you really want is to use the tribute effect, so you can tell that we're on a rough start. Let's see what happens next. We add ourselves Petal to hand. We normal summon Petal. We go Petal's effect. We add ourselves Rikka Princess. We go Princess effect, special summon itself. Then we link those bad boys off to the savior of the run. This card, I'm sorry, I'm so... This card is the oops, I ran out of cards that work. Please give me more material. This is the gamble card. I'm sorry. We go Dancephony. Dancephony 1, 2, 3, and we whiffed. We whiffed. Set pass. Good job. Good job. Good job, Dancephony. This is why this card sucks. I'm so sorry. They go Dimensional Fissure again. Runic Fountain. Freezing Curses to negate. Banishing some cards. Flashing Fires to destroy. Banishing more cards. Runic Fountain. Draw 2 more cards. We Ash Blossom the Runic Fountain. Because I'm tired of his shenanigans here. I'm tired. So what does he do? He can't retrieve his cards. The second Dimensional Fissure. We chain Human Winds. Add ourselves a Laurel. We go Rikka Petal on in phase. We chain Human Winds so they can't interrupt with it. We gain our 500. We summon the Petal for follow-up. We're looking kind of good. And you know what also is looking good? This Harpy's Feather Duster. We go Harpy's Feather Duster, getting rid of it. Ba-boom! No Fissure, no Fountain. We go Petal effect, Petal to add the mood on here. We're obviously going to normal summon the Laurel, and here's why. Normal summon the Laurel, go into Aromaseraphy Jasmine, Laurel sent to the graveyard, gain 500, and they just quit. I understand why they quit. Alright, now we open more shenanigans. But since we open more shenanigans, I can show off the Ragnarika half of the combo, which is quite sweet. Now, the Ragnarikas is a series of cards, part of the tri-type now, plant, reptile, and insect. Now, you heard a couple of cards that aren't plant, and that's the issue. If you technically lock yourself into plants, you can't really do the Ragnarika combo properly. So let's show off what's going on here. Standby, main. We start off with Bloom, they go Fuvaros, and you know what we do? We Ash it. Get Nanade on. Get Nanade on. You ain't drawing 15 cards. Alright, time to start plant combo here. We go Bloom. Bloom, add ourselves Evil Seed, pitching the boar, and they just quit. I understand why they quit. That is understandable. Alrighty, let's see what we're cooking this time. Now, here is probably one of the very good hands you could produce. Unfortunately, the issue is now, how am I supposed to combo? What is the line? The line does change depending on your hand, but hopefully there's a lot of commonalities that you can find. I know I'm not really sharing how the combo goes, but I hope just by you watching, you're able to like rewind and be like, oh, that's what he's doing differently. So, let's see. We open good old Snowdrop Rikka Fairy, locks you into Plant Monster, so you gotta do that last. We open Lone Fire Blossom ×2 plus Bloom and a Called By. I'm looking pretty confident. Let's see what happens. Standby, main. We start ourselves off with a Ragnarok Bloom. We go Lone Fire. Now, if I wanted to show off, you know, if I wanted to like, not show off, but keep my hand hidden, I wouldn't have activated Bloom so early, and it's important why you don't activate Bloom this early for a reason. But anyways, we go Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom summoned the Ragnarok Evil Seed. Fooveros would have killed me there. We had ourselves 2 Banish 1. We had ourselves the Beetle and the Wicked Butterfly. Butterfly activates its effect. We're going to draw an in phase. Samurai Beetle targets. We link off into the good old Skeletal Soldier here. Because we link to the Ragnarok, Samurai Beetle can target the Lone Fire Blossom, summon it. Perfect, right? Doesn't negate effects either. We go Skeletal Soldier, summon back the Evil Seed. We link those 2 bad boys off into this card. Now, this is a different situation, and here's why. This card doesn't have to trigger for me to still combo, right? Because I can just go Mudon. So this is what I'm talking about, where this card is just win more kinda, where I don't have to use this card right now. And it honestly messed me up on some parts, because I forget like Lone Fire is not a level 4. So remember, this card I don't have to summon. I could have easily summoned Aromatherapy Jasmine instead. But because we can, might as well, right? That's the, you don't have to summon this, right? You just go straight into Jasmine, since you have Lone Fire already. Okay, we're gonna go Dancephony, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got a Cyclamen and a Rikka Sheet. That's unfortunate, our trap's in the graveyard, but we can get it back. We go Lone Fire Blossom here, Lone Fire Blossom, summon ourselves a Laurel. Now, we link the Laurel plus the Dancephony for Jasmine. Laurel gains us 500, which means Jasmine gets to trigger add a plant monster. We add ourselves Petal, and here's why. Because we can go Snowdrop Rikka Fairy, tribute the Cyclamen, summon the Petal plus the Fairy or whatever. We go Petal to add Mudon. We go Jasmine, tribute the Petal, summon the Princess. We go, oh, my bad. So, technically, if I wanted to set up a monster negate early, what I could have done was Petal to pitch the Princess, right? I could have did Petal pitch Princess instead, right? Or I could have just done something else. There's so much stuff I could have done to insulate myself better. Because I learned how to combo, but to learn how to like make it Nibiru proof, where I have Princess in Graveyard by the 4th summon. Because what you want is Princess in Graveyard by the 4th summon to prevent tributing. To prevent Nibiru from eating us. This deck does die to Imperm, by the way. Anyways, so we get Snowdrop Rikka Fairy targeting the good old Princess here, making both level 4 so we can go into Strenna. Now, what I decided to do was use Strenna's effect to target a plant or Rikka card, so we target Sheet. We want her negate back in hand, don't worry about it. We go Mudon, tribute the Strenna. So we go Mudon Chainlink 1, Strenna Chainlink 2 so they can't Ash it, not like they have an Ash anymore. Strenna to summon ourselves a good old Sacred Tree Beast Hyperton. Mudon to add the Con, you know the drill. We go Con effect, we're gonna send a card, we're sending ourselves another Glamour for follow-up. We link these 2 off for a good old Aroma Lilith Rosemary. Now we know Rosemary can add ourselves an Aroma card from dead to hand. We add ourselves Aroma Blend. We can go Aroma Blend, discarding the Lone Fire Blossom to set ourselves a Humid Winds. We can go Humid Winds effect, paying the 1000 here. Chaining the Humid Winds other effect to gain the 500 here. We add ourselves an Aroma card. I think we're going to add Angelica. We add Angelica. Now, we go Angelica's effect. Angelica to target Aroma Jasmine. We gain 1800. Now, a Blend can trigger since we have higher life points, banishing the Jasmine plus the Ragnarok Seed, because we can always use the Ragnarok Bloom to summon it back. We go into Magnolia here. Magnolia's looking pretty good. Angelica can summon itself back since our life points are higher and we have Aroma Monster in our field. We summon back the Evil Seed from the Banish Zone. We link all 3 of these guys off into a good old Cosmic Tree Irma-Still. In Irma-Still we set a Called By and we set a Rikka Sheet. Now, I know you're like, where's the Rikka? Don't you dare where's the Rikka me, pal. You know what Rikka we have? We have Field Spell plus Sheet, and our deck consists of like 50% Rikka, so you can't where's the Rikka me. I don't know what my opponent's doing. I also whiffed because if I did Bloom a little bit later, Hyperton could have attached, I don't know, a spell card. Because during our turn, if we activate an effect, we can attach a card from our graveyard of the specified type between Trap Monster and Spell. So technically, if I activated a spell card with this card on the field, I could have attached one of my spells like... Oh, I didn't have any spells. Well, I probably should just activate a monster effect and attach another monster to it. Because technically, I could have attached Laurel, and then Laurel could gain us more life points, so I whiffed. Anyways, our inboard, we got Con to tribute one of our opponent's monsters for the sheet. We have Sheet on the field, basically preventing activation of card effects. We have 9,800 life points, which basically makes it so all of our monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. We have an Irma still. We have a Magnolia. Magnolia on our turn can pay 2,000 life points, banish cards equal to the number of Humid, Dried, and Bless winds that we control. We control a Humid wind, so this is just, on our turn, a banish card. We have a Called By, we have Bloom for follow-up, and we have Glamour for follow-up. Let's see what happens here. Oh, don't forget, Cyclamen was tributed, and we got the Hyperton activation so we can attach a card. Isn't that great? Hyperton attached the Laurel, Cyclamen, just in case if we need to tribute a card for the sheet, and we draw ourselves a Petal for follow-up. Isn't that amazing? They go draw, they go standby, main, they go Change a Heart. Change a Heart, target the Hyperton. I didn't negate it because I was like, well, why not? I didn't feel like negating it, to be honest. I knew that they didn't have an evenly in this situation, which was amazing. And I just decided not to negate it because if they take the card, this card isn't a negate on their turn. Because since it's in their possession, it's technically their turn, which means this card does nothing on their turn. So it's not very useful for them. And then I know they can't beat over it because I can always use Cosmic Tree Irmastill's effect to just gain attack. So I'm pretty good anyway. They summon Tonka board. They link off our Hyperton plus a Tonka board for guess what? IP. Now here's the funny. So we gain 1300. IP's effect. IP target Irmastill. A Romage Laurel effect. Gain 500 life point. Then they go IP effect. Targeting the Magnolia. So they wanted a 2-for-1 us, right? They wanted a 2-for-1. Where they banish the Irmastill, since this doesn't prevent banishing, it only prevents destruction. And then, since I chained the Laurel, they can also chain the Magnolia here. Now, you may be wondering, what do I do in this situation here? It's very simple. The funniest thing, the most Rikka thing ever. Guess what? Guess what we do? We trigger Rikka Princess. Since we control Cyclamen, we control a Rikka monster. We can shuffle this card back in the deck. Guess what we also do? Con's effect tributes my opponent's monster to negate the effect. And guess what we also do? Guess what happens? Called by the grave, targeting the SP. You're not banishing anything, buddy. Now, this technically does mean that SP Little Knight was a 2-for-1, which sucks, but the fact that I had to burn like 3 different cards just for a singular SP really hurts. But they just quit. They didn't want it. They didn't want the smoke, man. I thought that was very cool display of like the interaction that you have and the interaction that they don't see, you know? They didn't know about the Princess in Graveyard. They didn't know about the follow-up in the Rikka sheet, alright? So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see how things are looking here. So, this is the most Rikka hand of all time. You open that sheet again, which makes me sad, but it's fine. You don't really want to open too many Rikkas. I mean, yes, this is full Rikka combo. Yes, this is a Rikka TA, but yeah, who's talking, right? Standby, main, and we're not going first. Oh no, they pitched the Called By. How dare you? Were you afraid of my Ash Blossom? You weren't afraid of it? They go Glove. They summon Zubaba Gagagun Choch. They go Utopia Double. Utopia Double, time to detach the 2, add the double or detach 1, double or nothing, go into Utopia Dragnar. Utopia Dragnar can detach 2 to summon a number monster between 1 and 100. Summon Hope Harbinger. Set 2 pass. We're not looking very hot against a spell negate and 2 unknowns plus 2 unknowns in hand. We open a L board, let's see what happens here, main phase. We go Petal. We then go Con. Now, I knew they were going to have to negate the Con, because if not, then I could have found a way to tribute my... So, my idea was that I did not want Glamour to get negated here, because if Glamour's negated, then I go Con, and that's it, right? If Glamour gets negated, I have no other plays. But if Con gets negated, at least Glamour can survive, unless it gets Ash Blossom, so. That was my reasoning. I also didn't trigger Petal. I just thought that this was the better play, because if Con got let free, then I can obviously go Glamour, tribute my opponent's monster, so. Okay, they negate the Con with the Hope Harbinger. We exhausted their spell negate. We go Glamour here, Glamour tribute the Petal, and we add ourselves Petal plus Evil Seat. Now, you've noticed, we did not activate the effect of the field spell, and we also did not activate the effect of the Petal. So you know what that means? We can play Ragnarok half of the combo and not be locked. So that was part of my plan. I was like, hey, give me Ragnarok. We pitch the Elbor, we go Ragnarok Evil Seed add 2, we add Bloom plus Butterfly. We banish the Butterfly. Honestly, I could have banished something else, but it's fine. We go Butterfly, in-phase draw. We go Bloom search Evil Beetle, and then we pitch a card. We pitch the Glamour that we can't use anymore. We bring back the Butterfly to summon the Beetle. We then link it off into Skeletal Soldier. We need the link material. Beetle, by the way, summon ourselves the Petal back. That was all part of the plan. Then also, Skeletal Soldier can target the Evil Seat, 2 plants on field, free material. We go Petal now since we finished the Ragnarok part of the combo. We can add ourselves a Mudon. Now, we send ourselves Sylvan Densephone here because we want to add, please. Lone Fire! Ding 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 ding. Now here's the issue. I forgot what happens when I Lone Fire because my plan is that I want a level 4. But I forget how to play when Lone Fire's in play. I'm like, oh shoot, that's any card I need. What do I do now? Anyways, we go Lone Fire, tribute itself, summon the Laurel. We do kind of the same combo here. We go into Jasmine, Laurel goes to Graveyard, we gain 500 life points here. Jasmine gets out a plant monster, we add ourselves Princess, that's the level 4 we need, but we're kind of confused now. Then we didn't use Jasmine effect yet, we go Jasmine, summon the Princess, go Princess here, summon itself, go Rikka Fairy, target the Princess, make it a 4 to go Strina. Guess what the funny thing is? We didn't use Snowdrop effect. We pitched the Snowdrop to add the Snowdrop, then go Snowdrop to tribute the Strina, summon the Mudon, Strina effect. We summon this card attaching itself. Funniest card on earth, by the way. We have Aurea, the Sylvan Arbiter. Requires 2 level 7s. Once per turn, you can send 1 plant type monster from your hand or face upside the field to the graveyard. Look at the number of cards on the top of your deck equal to the level, and then place them on the top of the deck in any order. Cool. Now, once per turn, you can detach an Xyz monster from this card. Choose a number between 1 to 3. Excavate that many cards on top of your deck, then send any excavated plant type monster you can to the graveyard. And if you do, return that many cards from the field to the hand. Non-targeting bounce is what I was looking for, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really sure about anything else. I was like, I don't know if these cards can't be targeted or not. I feel like a non-targeting bounce for 3 would have been amazing here, but unfortunately we only got 1. Let's continue. We go Arbiter effect, detach the Strina, 1, 2, 3. We only got 1, and also Humid Winds is in Graveyard, which really sucks. We bounce back the Harbinger, we go Rosemary here. Now, I don't know why I did this, maybe I have a reason. We go Rosemary, add Blinn. We go Blinn, we pitch the Petal. We place the Humid, wait, I thought Humid, oh! I forgot, Humid Winds was shuffled back into the deck, because Arbiter doesn't send anything that's not a plant to the graveyard, so we're still good. We go Humid Winds here, Humid Winds to pay the 1,000, chain the Humid Winds to gain the life points right on back. We gain our 500, we add Angelica because we have Jasmine in Graveyard. We go Angelica, target the Jasmine, gain 800, 1800. Angelica summon itself back since we have more life points in the Rumbles on field. We go Hellbore, tributing the Angelica to summon itself, then going Snowdrop plus the Hellbore to make Rikka Queen. Rikka Queen detaching a material, tributing the other monster. We gain 100, we gain 200, we go Blinn since we got more life points. We use the Jasmine plus the Evil Seed, make Magnolia here. And we go Battle Phase, that should be lethal. And I ran out of life points. I ran out of time, don't worry about it. I ran out of time, but I was showing off. I went second, and I was able to still... The combo invents interaction as you're playing, which I really like. It's not like combo and then the inboard like is the only thing that interacts with your opponent. As you're comboing, you're still interacting with your opponent. The difference between summoning a queen or an arbiter, using your card effects that you technically wouldn't be using at this point because your opponent has nothing on the field. Like as you're comboing, you can interrupt your opponent as you're comboing. Just keep picking them off as you build up into stronger monsters. That's what I was trying to show off here, which was pretty cool. Alright, I know you had some pretty good representation. Let's see what we got next. We open the Rikka hand of all time. By the way, I'm running one field spell. We go Rikka Princess here. We go Mudon Tribute the Rikka Princess. Pretty good, right? We get to search a card. If they go for a monster negate, we can obviously go Princess to negate that. We go Glamour here, and that's where I messed up. But don't worry about it. We go Glamour. We add ourselves Evil Seed plus Petal. Remember, we're not locked into plants just yet, so we can do random Rikka combo. Isn't that crazy? Let's go Evil Seed. Evil Seed to add the Bloom plus the Beetle. The Butterfly. Technically, I probably could have saved the Butterfly if I wanted. It all depends. I'm not sure. I added the Beetle. We're pitching ourselves the Petal. We then go Beetle. Beetle, bring back the Butterfly, summon itself, go into the Evil Seed, Skeletal Soldier. You've seen this combo before, right? We got the Beetle. Beetle target Petal. We didn't use Petal effect yet. Then we can go Skeletal Soldier to target the Evil Seed. Next up, let's go Petal here. Petal, we pitch the actual Erica in the situation. I have a reason for that. Mainly it's because we have all the tributes. We literally have all the tributes in hand. This card, if a monster's tribute, just brings itself from the graveyard. We already had like a level 4 in the graveyard too, so we can go Dan Stephanie, make them both level 4s. We had no reason not to pitch this card, in all honesty. Let's continue. Dan Stephanie effect. We choose 3. We summon 1. We summon the Angelica. Kind of unfortunate. You kind of want to add the Angelica off of the Humid Winds. Anyways, we make them both level 4s by targeting the Princess and Graveyard. We go into Strenna here. Strenna gets to detach a material, then target a plant, bring it back. We target the Angelica, bring it back to hand because we do need it for the Aroma part of the combo. We go Snowdrop, Tribute, go Mudon, go Strenna, go Erica here, Chain Block. Not like it matters or anything. Erica summons itself. Then we go Strenna, summon ourselves Hyperton here. Attach. We go Con, which means so we can go Hyperton, attach the talents for the spell negate, potentially. Love that. We go Con, we go Rikka Fairy. We make them both 8s to summon the Teardrop. I kind of messed up because now I can't Aroma combo anymore because I need a discard. We go Rosemary here. To add ourselves Blessed Wind, I did kind of whiff, don't worry about it. We go Blend. And goodbye Angelica for the second time. We get ourselves Humid Wind access. Humid Wind, we chain, get ourselves a couple more life points. We gain 5, we add Laurel, and you know what I decided to do? Rosemary, summon that Laurel, why don't you? We go Con, we control a Rikka, we set sheet, we pass back to our opponent, guess what we have? Spell and or monster negate. We have the sheet to tribute our opponent's monster to target a monster and take control of it. We got an Aroma for the extra life point gain. We can also go Rosemary back on our turn, by the way, on our turn here, to banish a card. We got ourselves a Teardrop Wicked Cream, non-targeting, well no, it's a targeted tribute, don't worry about it. So we're looking pretty hot. We had ourselves a Evil Seed off of the Butterfly for the draw. Standby main, what the heck, Shining Draw, Zexal Construction here, target the Astrotopia, add Zexal Field, put the Astrotopia back. They go Automata Pickup, and they pass. Okay, I guess. I don't know what this board could have done against them, but alright. Alright, we're on to the last game. If you're enjoying it, please let me know in the comments below. We opened the Rikka hand of all time plus Fuvaros. That kind of sucks. Our opponent's going first. Astrotopia, Zexal Field. Yes, these were matches. I decided to, you know... Oh, set pass. That kind of sucks. Zexal Field pass. You don't want to see that at all. We open Angelica. Don't want to see that either. We normal summon the Angelica. We're doing the bad version where we're kind of ripping here. We go Petal plus Evil Seed because we had to. We had a normal summon. We pitch Petal, go Evil Seed. You know the drill. We add ourselves Bloom plus Butterfly. We banish the Butterfly. I could have saved Butterfly for the... Mudon? No. Mudon needs a plant to summon it. Anyways. Bloom, add Beetle. Pitch Fuvaros. We don't need that one anymore. We bring back the Butterfly to summon the Beetle. We link off into good old Skeletal Soldier. Petal's engraved. So Beetle target Petal. Petal summon itself back. Nibiru. We ate a Nibiru. We just ate a Nibiru. What do we do in this situation? We ate a Nibiru. We burned our normal summon. What can I do now? We already used our normal summon. We ate the Nibiru. We didn't even trigger Petal's effect. Isn't that awful? Like, I misplayed, right? Well, let's see what happens. What can we do now? We go Con effect. Mudon Fairy, tribute the opponent's Nibiru. Go Con. Mudon effect, add ourselves the Glamour. We already used the Glamour, but don't worry about it. Skeletal Soldier, target the Mudon, summon itself. Guess what? We didn't use Skeletal Soldier's effect. Target the Evil Seed. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna say screw it. We're gonna gamble. Now, what I could have done is immediately go Jasmine, right? So what I could have done was just go Jasmine, right? Jasmine, tribute the token, summon Lone Fire, continue combo. But I felt like getting a little bit saucy here. I want to see what happened. We go Dan Sephany here. Dan Sephany, 1, 2, 3. I hate that card, by the way. It's so annoying. Right when you need it to do something good, it doesn't. So instead, we just pitch all of the bad cards here. But, you know, I think we can still do something, and here's why. We do a direct attack for 1500. Guess what? Blends in Graveyard. We have higher life points. Let's target that Angelica plus that Evil Seed here. Let's make ourselves a good old Magnolia. And then let's link it off into the Jasmine like we were going to do prior. Now, we're going to go Jasmine here. Jasmine, tribute the token, summon the Lone Fire Blossom. Did you forget that we got Nibiru, by the way? We summoned ourselves the Petal. Guess what? We didn't even use the Petal yet. We go Petal, add Snowdrop Rikka Fairy. We go Con here. We're gonna send, you know what, an extra Glamour, why don't we? We go Snowdrop, summon the Mudon, summon itself. We're gonna make them both level 8 here. We go into the Teardrop Rikka Queen. In phase, we're looking pot. We drew a Princess. We have a Negate on field. We have a Tribute as well. We're looking real hot. We have follow-up. They go. Yeah, they just quit. I mean, brother, we played through Nibiru. We got Nibiru'd and said yes. Anyways, we got Nibiru'd like it was nobody's business, and we just continued like that was nothing. I hope you enjoyed the replays. I'm not going to say that they were like really good, but I'm really proud of those replays. I did have a mid moment, you know, I did have some mid moments out there that I didn't show because who likes getting nade on? But at least I'm honest about it. Now, you may be looking at this like, Nost, why is this a 40 card deck? This is an abomination. Most plant decks are 60 cards. I chose to be the cool guy and not do that because I like 40 cards. I know 40 cards is in a sense more like, are you cool with opening this card? Do you want to open this card? Or how badly do you want to open this card? And in Rikka, you technically don't care what card you open, mainly because there are no one card combos to in some degree. And I'm not saying Lone Fire is a one card comp. I'm not doing that technology. Get out of here. So, let me explain what was my goal here. My goal was to play all the Rikka cards. I couldn't play all of them, unfortunately. I played all but one. I think I made it pretty cohesive. I didn't want to lose the identity in the plant part of the deck. You know, just have it become veggie soup. But I kind of made it veggie soup mainly because there's an issue with Rikka. There's a really big issue with Rikka by itself. But it's all kind of circumvented with the Ragnarykas, right? The Ragnarykas do lock you, but at the same time, if you do think about it, they kind of help you, man. It's free link material. Yes, I could just Genius Loci, 60 card deck, Sun Avalon comp. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I guess I did enough yapping. Tell me, what am I doing here? So, you've seen the combos. The goal is pretty simple. Petal gives you access to anything. There's a whole lot of combo routes you can do, but the main goal I like doing is finding Glamour, right? If I can find Glamour or get Evil Seed plus Petal, that's always pretty cool. Evil Seed plus Petal or Evil Seed plus Lone Fire is always amazing. Because Rikka Glamour, remember, you add a Rikka, then you add a monster with the same level as the Rikka monster. So if I go Mudon and I haven't done the combo yet, Glamour can add, guess what? Petal. Petal's a level 1, so I get to add a level 1 plant monster with the same, you know. I get to add a level 1 plant monster in addition, so I add Evil Seed. Evil Seed can pitch the Rikka Petal, right, to summon itself. Then it can add Butterfly, which remember, Butterfly being a summon is so good, because Butterfly discarding itself to summon one of your cards that you don't really, you know. Rikka has a hard time getting bodies on field when you do so much tributing, right? So having a Wicked Butterfly to summon the Petal is always amazing. You are banishing cards so they interact really nicely with the Aroma monsters as well. But anyways, Rikka Glamour can add Evil Seed plus Petal. Then the Evil Seed can pitch Petal, add Butterfly and Bloom. Bloom being able to just put an extra plant material at the end of your combo if you really need it is really nice. Also being able to search Beetle. Beetle, Shuffleback, Butterfly. Summon itself, you go into Skeletal Soldier. Beetle made a Rad and Rikka, so summon back the Petal, summon back the Lone Fire Blossom. And then I decided to add Selene Snapper because I wanted a way just in case I summon back Beetle again. If I summon back Beetle again with Skeletal Soldier that'll be in the graveyard more often than not, then I can go into Selene Snapper and then the Beetle can trigger again if I want back on my turn to summon another one of the cards, infinite cards I have in my graveyard, right? So I thought that was always a good idea. And then also, you may be seeing, what the heck is this extra deck going on here? The plan with the first deck was that I built nothing but water monsters. I used the new water chandler to be able to summon to add any water monster from my deck to the hand. It was super cool, right? Then you go Coral Anemone using the Ice Jade monster. You summon back one of your Rikkas like Petal. You go Petal effect or whatever. But if you don't do that, you can link your way up into World's Dragon to Zelantis. Zelantis can just remove all the cards. Then since you're locked into water, they can't summon their monster. I can't summon their monsters back. That was the plan. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. What else? Lone Fire. Okay, so the build I was doing had impulses. It had Dominus Impulse. So you can understand, Dominus Impulse is kind of nuts. And since I'm running nothing but waters, I can run Dominus Impulse, right? But anyways, Lone Fire is kind of good because Lone Fire can trigger your Primula. It can trigger your Erica that's in the graveyard. So I forgot all about Lone Fire. I didn't even have Lone Fire in the initial build, so I was really learning how this deck worked, right? And then the more I played, the more the deck became less and less Rikka. But I'm cool with this. I'm confident and I'm cool with this. So the Mudon's pretty good. Mudon to search your Glamour, searches your Con-Con. I only have one Con-Con in here because why not? I don't know. I feel like Glamour's just so much better than Con-Con. Con-Con is cool for the gimmick, but you don't need it because it doesn't. The field spell does set a spell trap, but it alone by itself, it doesn't really do anything. And then it locking you into plants is also just kind of, you know. Depending on what hand you open, if you already used your Princess or if you already used your Glamour, really changes how you combo in that case. Because some parts of the combo you search Mudon later, you know, like if you haven't used your Petal yet, you search Mudon later in the combo so you can get Glamour. But then if you start your combo with the Glamour to get the Evil Seed plus the Petal, you're like, oh crap, Mudon's not as useful. But you'd still do Mudon for the Con-Con. But then if your combo gets even more messed up, and then you already used your Glamour, and you already have Con-Con, then you don't do Mudon, and you're like, shoot, what does Petal do? I guess Petal to grab Rikka Fairy, and then it also depends on what Dancephone does, because if you have a level 4 in your graveyard and the ability to continue your combo if Dancephone gets negated, then what you can do is just go Dancephone. If you have Princess in graveyard, whatever it summons, you can just make them both level 4 to go into Strena. Right? That's pretty cool, right? But then if you don't have a level 4, you're like, oh crap, what do I do in that situation? Then depending on what you want to do or what summons, then you may not be able to go into Strena immediately. Which means you have to finagle another combo away, right? Like maybe you have to go Mudon, and then if you don't have Mudon because you already used your Glamour, then you're like, what am I doing? You end up being like, oh shoot, what combo do you go into? Can I even make the level 4? Like, it gets super funny at times. You're like, shoot, how do I make this level 4 right now? To add a card to summon one of my cards. Do I just hard make Teardrop Rikka Queen? I don't know. It all depends on what Dancephone does. It all depends on what hand you open and what combo you go into. Lone Fire kind of helps you a lot. If you Glamour later, at first I was doing the combo where it was you Glamour one of your cards for Primula plus Princess if you didn't use Princess, because Primula can just summon itself, and then Princess you can summon it, and then, you know, search and tribute, right? It all depended on what really you wanted to do. Or let's imagine there was a time I went Petal to send Snowdrop Rikka Fairy because I opened a Mudon or something silly, and then I went Strena to add back the Snowdrop so that I can use the Snowdrop to summon Lone Fire. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this deck has an issue when it comes to like, what the heck do I do? You get to a point where you're like, okay, I use this effect. Okay, I gotta change the combo slightly. Okay, I use this effect. Wait, I gotta change the combo slightly, you know? There is no like linear combo. It's like, well, if you use this effect, go this way. If you didn't use this effect, go that way. So it's really cool. I don't mind it. Gives you a whole lot of brain thinky. An issue I had is that there is no one card combo because obviously it's Rikka. I'm cool with that though. It leads you to be a little bit more susceptible to other cards. And speaking of susceptibility here, oh me oh my, I have to talk about this. Fuvuros Perulia, you are getting destroyed against. What the first thing I thought about was like, I started doing test hands to hope or like try to build a board that if I get Perulia or no, if I get Fuvuros, what can I do? If I get Fuvuros, I've determined that I'll be giving at minimum 3 cards. Because the combo I did was Strenna, then Mudon, right? So I had, let's see, I went Petal, right? I did Petal to add Mudon or something. No, I didn't go Petal, add Mudon. I think it was, I had Glamour in hand and a plant to tribute. So I tributed. I then went, I searched myself Princess plus Primula. I summoned both of them. I made Strenna, right? Then I went Strenna or something because, no, oh yeah, that's what it was. I think it was like Petal, pitching, Petal to send Mudon to grave. I then went Glamour to tribute the Petal to add Primula plus Princess. I summoned Primula, then I summoned Princess. Then after I did that, I made Strenna. That's 1 draw. I did Strenna effect to add the Mudon because we're not trying to, we can't do Lone Fire, Tribute, Summon from deck. We can't do that. So we add Mudon to hand. Mudon tributes the Strenna. Strenna, we go Mudon, Chainlink 1, Strenna 2. Strenna then summons Hyperton, right? So Strenna is now summoning Hyperton or Teardrop, right? So now I gave him 2 draws. I just gave him 2 draws. Then Mudon effect, add Con for sheets. I gave my opponent 2 draws, and I've ended on effectively nothing. Now, let's imagine, remember, I didn't summon from the deck at all. That's why Lone Fire is such a bane, though. Lone Fire is so good, but, like, against Fuvuros, you're getting gobsmacked, right? I thought about it. I'm like, okay, Dancephone super cool, Jasmine just so cool as well, summoning from the Fuvuros, and I'm like, oh, crap. I guess we're not doing that, and that. Is it Skeletal Soldier plays? No, because that's a link material that does nothing. You see, that's the issue now. You get Fuvuros, you're dead. So I added in 3 Ash Blossom and a Called By. And then I added a Talons plus a Thrust, so I can Thrust for sheet if I need to. I don't want to get Fuvuros, but that's how the deck works. The deck is a pretty extensive combo deck now. Because you have so many enablers for the combo, so that... I don't like... I mean, yeah, I love combos, right? As much as the next guy. But when you combo too much, you do get punished. I got Nibiru'd and I managed to play through it. I don't think that should be possible, but hey, whatever. What else? What's another issue I have with this deck? You know, I can start talking about pros, though. I like the concept. Tributing my opponent's monsters is super fun. I like that they're all water. Unfortunately, they didn't really take advantage of the being nothing but water part. Because it's kind of mid. It reminds me of Vernal Sylphs almost, where if you lock yourselves into water, you don't have many options because you're also locking yourself into plants. Which is kind of, yeah. What's pretty cool is how Jasmine, the aroma cards do kind of help. Going Jasmine, if I have the Laurel or something, and then linking into the Rosemary. Rosemary to add the blend, and then discarding a card to place Humid Winds. Humid Winds to add the Angelica. Gain your 1800 so that Angelica can not only gain you life points so you can use the blend effect and to banish itself, but also can be an extra material so you can just summon itself underneath a Rosemary. Then remember, I didn't even use the effect, but Rosemary can also just straight up tribute a monster this card points to, then target a card in the field and banish it, which is pretty useful. Using Blend's effect is really nice because I was thinking like, do I go Lone Fire for Centennial or like a card that prevents my plants from being destroyed? But I forgot, I'm like, oh wait, I forgot Blend has it built in because Blend summon Magnolia. While your life points are higher, plant monsters I can't be destroyed by card effects. It's like really good. And then it's on its own also just being a non-targeting banish as well. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yes, it's Aroma. Yes, it's Ragnarika soup. But you also kind of need it. You really do need it. What else is an issue? I don't really have many issues anymore. I was really upset with this deck prior because I couldn't make the combo I want. But after that, I've accepted it. It's honestly just not that bad. For the side deck, don't worry about it. Side deck's kind of, I don't know, Oh, I also wanted 2 Strena. I couldn't make the second Strena. I needed room for everything else. I could say no to the Zelantis Curl and Enemy play, but I don't know. I don't know. This card's funny because it's a non-targeting bounce. I haven't used Kanzashi much, unfortunately, but it's still a cool card. I still want it in the deck. Sacred Treebeast Hyperton is cool. I did not want to do the Therion Regulus play because I will be locking myself into plants. Evil Seed's kind of, you know, Evil Seed gets... There's too many cards. If I added, like, the Therion Regulus Super Vegetable Soup stuff, then I wouldn't have been able to play Ragnarok better. Because if you want Regulus for the free negate, then yeah. And then don't forget your Petal can't summon itself in your end of your opponent's turn if your Regulus is still up. I don't know. I didn't want to do that. I felt like this is kind of homey. I'll be honest. The funniest thing is Irma still. Because you're not using the Rosemary anymore, probably. Like, yeah, you can target, tribute a card, banish a card, don't worry about it. I have so much material, I could just Irma still. And then Irma still paired with Magnolia. I'm already gaining life points. Then let's imagine my opponent summons a 3000 attack monster. I gain the life points, and then I go Magnolia, so that I gain that much attack as well. So then you can't really beat over my monsters either. My plant monsters become beefy. Lastly, an issue that I had was that getting it down to 40 cards. I had it at 45 at first, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to. And then I had to remove cards like, you see how there's like 2 ofs and 3 of the 1 ofs? Initially I had 3 Con. I had like 3 of this, 3 Lone Fire, 3 Seed, 3 Bloom, but I wanted to get it down to 40 because I think this is perfectly fine for a plant deck. I do die to certain cards, obviously. Tributing your opponent's monsters is cool, but like, I don't know. Hand trap wise, the only hand traps is Fuvaros and Ash, so I instead decided to go board breaker style. I don't know about that either. If your hand's really bad, you're kind of screwed. You have to like combo certain ways, like you have to really think about how you're going to combo because you have so much creative freedom when playing the deck. You have the ability to do so much stuff that you have to think about what you want to do. The ability for Petal to reach any card in your deck, the ability for Glamour to reach any card in your deck, the Jasmine plays, Aromatherapy Jasmine, and Dance Sephany completely changing how you combo. Whether you have Petal with no Ragnarok or no Glamour, whether you want to go into Ragnarok or you don't, the second you open Lone Fire, it becomes even more complicated because then you're like, oh crap, I have access to any card in my deck. What am I doing here? What cards did I activate? What cards didn't I activate? How do I access the Strena here? Is it Dan Sephany? Is it Jasmine? Is it Snowdrop Rikka Fairy? Is it somehow glamoring into Primula and Princess? If I use the Princess, is it trying to go Cyclamen? If I opened an Aroma, how am I getting this card back? I gotta get Strena here, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do Strena to add back the Angelica. What can I say? The pro, you have a lot of freedom. You can build this deck however you want. You can make this deck do anything you want. The cons, you do die to Fuvaros, and people will hate you, and you will die to Timer. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. I know I did replays and I didn't really do like the normal stuff this time, but I really hope you enjoyed it. This took me a minute to make. I'm probably going to be behind, but that's because I was having a hard time building this deck. This wasn't the hardest thing to do, but this was the hardest thing to conceptualize almost. No, never mind. Smoke Mosquito was hardest to conceptualize. This right here was just confusing to pilot. This was the most confusing thing for me to pilot. So if you enjoyed this, please let me know. Let's see what the wheel has for me next time. Hopefully you stay, and I'll be seeing you. Bye-bye.